You ready to share your story with the world? Well, Snails with No Shells is where you need to be. Available on all digital platforms, Facebook, and YouTube. Snails with No Shells. Leave that shell at the door. Greetings, beautiful ones. I am Ms. BJ Martin, and this is Snails with No Shells. Leave that shell at the door. That's my only rule in this room. All right, let's get right into it. I am so excited to have this beautiful woman on my podcast. She is totally amazing. I'm just going to go ahead and bring her to the stage. Liz Yancey.
What's up? How you doing?
I am amazing. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Can't complain, won't complain.
Awesome. Thank you for being on Snails with No Shells. We appreciate you.
Yes, indeed.
And yes, and ladies and gentlemen, I must say I have been knowing Liz for a long time, a very long time, and I had no idea that we were both basically at the same juncture of our lives. Recreating, right? So this is amazing how you never know who's doing what and what they're doing, what they have going on. Then when God brought us back together, and it's like, oh wow, so I love it. Yes. Okay.
It's been quite some time. You were a teenager when I met you. You know that, right?
Well, I might have been
right around your 19-ish, 20-ish. You was right around because you was how when you had your little boy.
Yep, that's right. Because I think Brandon was like 2. I was about 19, 20.
You was around your early 20s. Yep.
Wow. Yep. That has been a long. Dang, I didn't know it was that long time waste for no one, right?
Yes. I think you had just had your son. It wasn't that long.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time.
Your little boy was a little boy. Yes.
I love it. Yes, that's been 20-some years. Yes. I'm telling my age. Yes, I am 40.
You're telling yours. Okay.
Not ashamed. All right, let's get into it. So, Liz, where were you born and raised?
Well, I was born in Jersey City, New Jersey, and I was raised in Shelby, North Carolina.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes, so what was it like growing up in North Carolina?
Well, Southern, just old school. Everything's old school, just the Southern feel, the Bible Belt type situation. So it was more just growing up in a very strict environment, strict home growing up there. But it's just country roads and naiveness and all that good stuff. It's kind of hard to say, but it's just one of those situations where you're in the South, and anything outside the South, you really don't know too much about. So it was one of those type environments to grow up in. You grew up around a lot of strict morals, and the morals is your base or your foundation. And so once you get older, it's up to you to build on that. So it was a fun experience. It was a fun experience, but it had its challenges. It definitely had its challenges.
Wow. And so, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I always wanted to be a singer. I always
Really?
wanted to be a singer. Yes. I always wanted to sing. I always wanted to write music. And I took piano lessons and I did all of that. I wanted to sing. And my family, actually, I grew up with my uncles and my aunts.
Okay.
To kind of back up a little. I was adopted. I was adopted by my uncle. My uncle and my aunt, they adopted me and took care of me. My mother, she stayed in New Jersey. So I do have siblings back from New Jersey.
Okay.
But I always say being shipped to North Carolina and reared there, just a different feel of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So you grew up did you grow up singing in church?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Singing in church and playing the piano in the church. So that was my thing, singing and playing the piano.
Okay.
Yes.
So you always
I played the piano all the way up to 16 years old for the youth choir. I was very embedded in the church, how they have all the youth outings and all that stuff. So I was always a lead singer. My family actually had a quartet group. It was called the Michael Gospeletts. You couldn't tell us anything. We used to go out and sing. But my uncles and my aunts, those were the ones that stood out in the forefront. I was always that little one in the background, like, I want to get out here. I want to sing. So singing was always my peace of mind. It was my comfort.
I love that. I'm not surprised at all. So you wanted to be a singer. So did you get a chance to pursue that dream?
I did. On the magnitude of what I really wanted, I didn't. I did a lot of auditions. I did a lot of things as I was growing up in my teen years, in my early 20s. But the problem was my voice was so mature, it wasn't matching with how I looked. So the music that I kind of studied was basically the old school music, the more the Anita Baker, the Nancy Wilsons, and the latecomers, the Phyllis Hymans. Those are the ones I kind of fell in love with, the Gene Carnes. So different. It's just a lot different. So yeah, that kind of sound and to move on with that. Yes.
So that was a little complicated. I remember, I want to say that Evelyn Champagne King kind of had the same problem. This very mature voice, for her age, and they didn't know what to do with her after a certain point. They
didn't know what to do with me, and my body and my voice did not match. The type of things they wanted to hear and me to do, I wasn't there. I was more I was a stand flat-footed and belt it out and sing and give it your all and give it your feeling. That's the type of singer I was. I wasn't the singer. I wasn't that triple threat. I couldn't dance. So that was out of the question. But to sing was, that was just the passion within itself. Now I could sing and I could play. I was a Alicia Keys style, but I could sing, I could play. But after that, they didn't know where to put me. So it was kind of hard for me to get into the mainstream area of that because they didn't know where to put me.
Okay. So did you get a chance to were you focused more, so you were focused more on R&B as opposed to gospel at that time?
Right. I did a lot of jazz. I did a lot of jazz clubs. I did a lot of jazz outings, hotels, different things like that. And the people loved that. I loved doing that part, and I usually it was a keyboard player and myself, or it was a live band and myself. So I was in that kind of realm, more or less, R&B, but jazz was my go-to. Jazz was my go-to.
Mm-hmm. And so, how long did you pursue that?
That was the majority, pretty much, of my life. I went to Winston-Salem State University. Went there to study music, to study in college, and I was a vocal major there. I actually studied a lot of opera. I did a lot of opera music, so my voice range was I was mezzo soprano all the way to a second tenor. My voice range was just through the roof, but just singing that kind of music and then going into the R&B, into the jazz. I joined a jazz band in college and kind of did some jazz stuff there, but it was just more or less of just getting myself out there and doing the jazz in different other places.
Okay, so in pursuing this career, what did you experience, like anything that was like this really, that was really a turnoff for you? I've heard many different stories about people doing, pursuing their career, and just some just gave them a bad taste, and they just was like, you know what, I'm not doing this no more. So did you ever have any kind of experiences like that?
In my early part of my years, no, I didn't experience too much of that. But a lot of people, I don't know if it was just something that was written on top of my head or what, but a lot of people was literally scared to touch me, or just not literally physically touch me, but as far as get me involved in what they were doing. It was like it was a stop sign over my head. It was like a protection was already there for me. It was like stuff seen unseen, and I wanted it so bad, but it was like, no, you can't go in that direction. No, you can't go in that direction. And even though people loved my voice, it was like, no, we're not touching that. And I never had any crazy incidents or anything like that, but it was just a lot of denial, or being denied, my talent. I think I start feeling in my music career, I started feeling more of the neglect when I kind of veered off into the spiritual realm, more of the gospel realm. That realm was really, I experienced a lot of stuff in that realm more than anything, even trying to pursue the jazz or the R&B. The gospel realm was the worst, and that turned me off more than that really made me stop singing, because of some of the things that kind of went on there. And I was like, it's just, you feel so unappreciated. So that my whole career out of singing, as long as I've sung. I started singing professionally back in 1997, 96, 97. I did my very first pretty much midstream, mainstream song back in 96. It's called Higher, up under the name Joshe, which everybody else was calling me for a very long time.
Yes.
It's under the name of Joshe, and that was house music. I was introduced to house music by Carlson Carter. He was actually a keyboardist, and he helped produce the tracks, but they bought that track right out of the studio. So I wasn't even finished writing it, and they came to the studio to visit. They wrote it right then, signed the song right then. I was not signed as an artist, but my vocals were signed. So there, and then turned around and did 2 more songs after that in the house realm. So I fell in love with doing house music because it was a little bit freer, and I was able to express my voice in all type of ways, and I fit in that particular realm better than any other realm that I was trying to fit in. So I ended up writing gospel lyrics on top of house music at that point, and I think I was the first one started doing that for a very long time. So I wrote that, and then I had my gospel lyrics on top, and it became a hit. They was playing it all over New York or whatever. Tony Humphries was the first one to play it on the radio, and he played it till it fell off the wheels fell off of it. So
Mhm.
to this day, it's a pretty powerful song. And that was the name of it, Power and Higher, and Shout Hallelujah. So yeah, so it's I was been professional for quite some time.
Wow, that's amazing. See, I didn't know all that. That's why I love just interviewing and having these conversations. I get to find out so much stuff that I
Yes,
didn't know. And I know
yes, yes,
you've done a couple of more like full albums, haven't you,
yeah.
since then?
Hmm.
Yes.
Yes, yes. I did a snippet album back in 2010. 20, oh no, was it 2006? I started it was released in 2010. So then it became Change. It's called Change. So Change was my biggest album that I'd ever done, and I traveled singing that particular song.
Oh.
Um, did a 19 city tour in Italy back in 2012. Toured with what's the lady's name? Oh my God, she'll kill me if I'm forgetting her name. But anyway, it'll come to me. But I toured in 09 with her singing backup, and then I can't even think of the lady's name. But anyway, and then
Not my heart.
right, and then back in 2012, the actual booking agency that booked her called me to come back and do my own tour. So I did a 19 city tour in Italy and traveled from Milan all the way down, all the way up. So yeah.
And y'all, listen, ladies and gentlemen, look how she's just so modest and just humble. And she's like, "Oh yeah, I went from this, lady."
Yes.
I mean, you've done some amazing things. Some people haven't even, they've only, wished and dreamed about that. That's amazing.
It was awesome. It really, really was. It was really awesome. Yeah. It's stepping out on faith and doing what I feel was best. Yeah. And I always thought I was different when it came down to music in my writings, because my writings don't sound like your typical gospel music or your typical music that you want to play in church. But it was more, I would say it's more inspirational versus, more gospel.
Wow. So you said the gospel experience was like the one of the lessons.
Worst.
Yeah. Okay.
Snails or no shells? No shells.
Right, leave that shell at the door. That's right. She said the worst. Okay.
It really was, and yeah, it really was, and hurtful. It still hurts sometimes, but sometimes you just got to let go stuff and not linger on, allow it to hang on. But literally, yeah, that church, yeah. Yeah.
I understand.
But you move on. You continue to you think about your faults. You always have to do a self-check, and I always do a self-check to be sure that it wasn't any of my fault that things had happened. But I can't blame anyone, because I allowed, and no one can get past you unless you allow it to, or allow it to get in your spirit and cause you to have bitterness. And I allowed it. And you put your 100% trust in that somebody is going to do what they say they're going to do, especially when it comes down to your career. But you have to be in complete control of your career at all times, at any cost. So you have to be in the forefront of that. And I blame myself. And one thing about singing gospel, once you sing gospel and sound good, people put you in a gospel box.
Okay.
And being in a gospel box, you can't grow in the gospel box, especially if you have more talent than just gospel.
Right.
And people won't see you any other way but gospel.
Okay.
So that's why I used to tell people, I'm not a gospel artist. I'm an inspirational artist. I inspire you. I bring healing to you. This is my thing. But but automatically they was like, okay, yeah, whatever. Box, gospel. Right. That's where you sit.
Right. Wow.
That's the hardest part.
Yeah, yeah, and you definitely have a strong presence. When someone when you're around you, they can't feel it on here on the computer, but being in your presence, in your energy, you have a very strong presence,
Ooh,
and you
okay.
probably come off. You do you when you probably come off a little bit intimidating to some people. In case you didn't know that,
I didn't know that. I did not know that. I
right?
did
And,
not know
and
that.
people they won't tell you that. They won't be honest, especially if they want to try to hide something from you or make you feel
Right,
some kind of way. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
I didn't know that,
But
and I'm glad you told
it's
me.
not aggressive. Do you understand?
Right,
And it's
right.
just like it feels like a strong feminine presence
Okay, got you.
that you have. Yeah, standing next to you. Yeah. So yeah, if you didn't know, you know now.
I know, right?
But that
I,
could explain some things. You understand what I'm saying?
and it's so funny because my husband, I don't know. It's just that with me, I try to come straight forward with people, and I tell people, how I feel and what it is. I don't hold back. And my husband said, "Do you worry about the repercussions on the other end?" I said, "No, I don't, because whatever's me is me." You ask me a question, I'll give you a straight answer.
Mhm.
If it's something that I don't want to discuss, I'll just say, right now I don't want to discuss that. But I usually, because I made a promise to myself years ago. I got pregnant when I was 15. I had my first child when I was 16, and I had a lot of suicidal thoughts. I had a lot of hurt. I had a lot of pain. I didn't know who I was. I never got a chance to meet my mom. I never got a chance to meet my dad. And growing up in a family, not knowing those things, it gets you in a certain uproar, as I would say. It takes you down a different path, because at this point you're thinking, you're searching, you're trying to find out what's what. So with me, I had to revert back inside of me and my soul to figure out who I was. I don't care who said they took care of you, raised you, and that, not saying that in a negative way, but you still don't know who you are. And I battled with that all the way up in past my 30s, close
Mhm.
to 40 years old,
Right.
just now leveling out at 50. I'm
Right.
54 years old and I'm just now leveling out, because it's like all these years I'm really PO'd about a lot of things. And I'm like,
Yes.
why couldn't somebody tell me the truth? That's why I tell my kids the truth all the time. Bad, good, or indifferent, they need to know. So those are the things that I dealt with in a younger, and I guess that's why my presence is so strong, is because I know who I am. You can
Yes.
say whatever you want to say. Okay, fine, good. Your opinion. Everybody has one, but I'm just going to tell you how I feel straight up, and that's who I am. That's Liz Yancey.
Wow, that's Liz Yancey. Wow, and I didn't know you went through that.
Yes, yes,
Wow.
yes, and that's it. It's very depressing. It was very, very
Mhm.
depressing, and a lot of things that happened in my life I suppressed for so long because I just didn't want to deal with it, and I didn't know how to deal with it.
Right.
Didn't have no one to talk to, so I
Mhm.
had to reach inside myself and talk to that inner self and uplift that inner self. Even though there were times I just was like, why am I here? What is going on? Why is this happening to me?
Mhm.
And sheltered from being able to go out and do the things young people do. I didn't have the opportunity
Mhm.
because it was such a fear of getting pregnant, and I end up getting pregnant anyway.
Right.
So it's like I never did. I've never been a child before. So at 15, 16, you hanging out with your friends. I never got to hang out with my friends. I never got to hang out and do the things I wanted to do. But it's, and I always tell parents that you really need to talk to your kids at all times.
Mhm.
And if you are in a blended family, or even if you're a family or you're raising a child of a parent or of a sister or a brother, let that child know who that person is. Give her an option or him an option. Give them a choice so they can speak of how they feel about the whole situation. Give them a choice if they want to be around that biological mother or that biological father. But just continue to keep your love for them, because that's gonna overshadow everything. But it
Mhm.
helps fill, even though it may not completely fill the void, but it will feel it'll put something in there to kind of start the healing process of the void, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the person, the child will don't have to go through life wondering, well, who am I? Where am I from? Who are my people? I
Right.
just I just met my oldest sister actually about 2 years ago. She's
Wow.
50, she's 56, I'm 54.
Mm-hmm.
And when I knew about her, she knew about me, but she was going through her life. And that's on
Right.
my father's side. I never got to see my father. I got her to tell me about my father and what type of person he was. And I look just like my father.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just one of those situations where she and I are really, really close now.
Mm-hmm.
So we
That's
talk a lot. Yeah. And so I have siblings on my mother's side. But I always tell people, talk to your kids because you never know what they're going through at all time. And that's why I like to I think I overtalk my kids. I probably talk my kids into a depression because I talk to them so much.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I try to keep, I try to talk to them a lot to kind of get an understanding of where they are mentally, and it's
Right.
important. It's important. It's important.
Yeah, and then when you go through things, you don't, for one, you don't want your kids to go through that,
Right.
and you
Mhm.
want to, being that person that talks to them all the time, you feel like, okay, I want to keep them safe.
Mhm.
I want them to be, to know to speak the truth and all that.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
we go
Mhm.
through certain
Mhm.
things,
Right.
in our lives, especially when we're younger. It's like, yeah, I'm not gonna let this happen because I don't want anybody to do that to me. I don't want to do with my children what happened to me.
Right.
What I'm
Right.
saying. So I do. I get that. I get that.
It's
Wow.
hard to. It's kind of hard to reel them in, though.
Mhm.
Sometimes you got to let them fall and let them feel the bump or feel the hurt or the cut or whatever is going to be there. You got to let them feel it because if not, they won't appreciate what's good
Right.
later on. And you shelter them too much, they're going to resent you for it.
Right.
So that's something I didn't want to happen with my kids, but I just tell them straight up how it is, and I always say I can show you better than I can tell you.
Mm-hmm.
So let me show you what I'm doing. So that's why I work so hard to be successful in what I
Yes.
do because it brings a light to them. Like, okay, mom did it, I can do it. Cool.
Right. Right. And yes, and you've had a few endeavors. I know you've
Mhm.
always been entrepreneur. What they call type of entrepreneurs? Like they're always entrepreneuring, and trying different things. I remember you had
Yeah.
an organization where you were helping young mothers.
Yes,
Um,
yes. I'm getting ready to reopen that too. It's called Better Babies.
yes, yay, yes, I
Yes,
remember
yes,
that, and I
yes.
was wondering, like, I know what the connection was,
Hmm. Hmm.
because you were very adamant about that program.
Right,
And I was like,
right.
okay, no, but now I really understand now because you were a younger mother. I didn't know, so
Yes, yes. A
yeah.
lot of people don't understand that process.
Mm-hmm.
As being a young mother, getting pregnant at the age of 16, my parents didn't find out till I was about 8 months pregnant. Never
Right.
had prenatal care. Never went to I never saw the inside of a clinic. The doctor, no nothing until my 8th month.
Mm-hmm.
So, I scared out of my mind, not knowing
Mm-hmm.
what was going on, and still doing what females do on a monthly base. And you're wondering, okay, well, if I'm pregnant, why am I still having this?
Right.
So didn't know what was going on with my body. But um the program that I teach with the Better Babies, I came up with that program because I had a lot of people would come to me and say, hey, you know anybody that has some clothes for some kids? This girl, she's getting ready to have this baby. She's a young girl getting ready to have a baby. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, they don't have no programs out here for that. And I was like, no, nobody, everybody's, don't understand why there's not a program or anything. So that was one thing me and my husband, because my husband was a single father and I was a single mother.
Right.
So we both sat down and we thought about it. I was like, hey, let's put something together to help young mothers once they're in the hospital, give them a gift basket of things that they would need for the baby within their 6 week period. So they don't have to go out the house and everything they have is in this basket. From
Mm-hmm.
Pampers, the bottles, the milk, the whatever was needed. And teaching them how to breastfeed, which was a method that was taboo back then. No, get that Similac, get it ready, get it going. But
Right.
now breastfeeding is the real thing. But getting those baskets together and everything, my husband said, so how are you going to make them accountable? So what do you mean? He said, how are you going to make them accountable? I said, explain. And he's like, you start giving stuff away free, everybody start coming. And they may not need it. But if you make them work for it and learn something in the process for it, they would appreciate it more. He said, when they do get it, it's more appreciative versus somebody just gave me something, tell your friend. Somebody just gave me something, tell your friend. So
Right.
I created a program. It's called Program of Purpose, which teaches young people to be independent in a dependent situation. So I teach them how to organize themselves inside their parents' home while they live there. So once you get out on your own, you don't have to try to figure it out. You already know, because now you have a constant flow of how you put your kids to bed, take care of your kids, discipline your children, make sure that the mother, your parents and yourself have an understanding. I'm raising my kids. I know that I'm in your house. Respect my authority when I tell the kids to do this, and this. So basically that was something that I would, that I taught the young girls, and I partnered with Atlanta Technical College to do that with the GED program and to assist the young ladies there. So very, very successful nonprofit organization.
Nice. I remember, and I years ago, I remember we kind of had like a small conversation about it, and I was like, I had never heard of 501c3 until you brought it up, and I was like, 501c3. What is that? So you were, on it years ago. Yes. Very enterprising, and it's amazing how God puts us through things, right?
Oh yeah,
we go through things in life, and only to come out on the other side, being able to have that, the relatability. Like now you know what it's like to be a young mother. Now you know what it's like in the music industry. So you have this wealth of information that you can share and help so many other people. So it's like it was worth it.
Yes.
Me, like even though things I've been through in my life, I always say at the end of the day, it's worth it, because I would not be the woman I am today had I not gone through what I've been through in my life. So to me, it's worth it. And I think once you get to that point, and you talk about going within and being accountable.
Yes, most definitely.
Once you mature and start being accountable for your actions and going within and doing that inner work, it changes your whole life.
And that goes back to what I said earlier, getting to know who you are. Yes. And that is sitting still, finding your passion, and doing just that. It will take some time, because I always tell people, we're new people every day. Yes. I'm not the same person I was yesterday. You're not the same person you were yesterday. Right. However, we have a purpose here. So find your purpose, find your passion, and drive it. Just drive it and do what you think is best. And then that scripture that says your gift will make room for you, that's when the gift begins to make room for you, when you find your purpose and find out what you're supposed to be doing.
I love it. All right, so let's get into a boss creator. It says Liz Yancey, the boss creator. Yes. So let's talk about that. Yes. Where did that come from?
Oh gosh, that is so funny, because it was unexpected. I was actually on a live, and somebody said, "You're the boss." I was like, maybe. I said, but I just do what I feel. I do what I love. And I was like, if it wasn't for my husband, I wouldn't be a boss. My husband, when I met my husband, he had his own business. I never thought about having my own business. Only thing I wanted to do was sing. Right. And he was like, well, when you and I get married, then you can come off your job and you can do whatever you want to do. I said, so you're telling me we get married, I can come off my job and I can do whatever I want to do? He's like, yeah, just do whatever you want to do. I said, I don't think I want to do that. I don't think I want to do whatever I want to do. I said, I don't know how to do whatever I want to do. I said, I've been a single mother for 17 years and I'm getting ready to marry into a blended family. You said I can do whatever I want to do. I don't know how to do whatever I want to do. Only thing I know is work 3 jobs, take care of 2 children, and do it and go home and relax. So
Right.
I said, I said, I got to learn. He said, well, let's do this. When we get married, I met my husband in February 2022. February 2002, and we got married September 2002.
Mm-hmm.
Same year. So we've been married for 20 years now. So when I went out, sought out to do what I want to do, I'd done so many things, like you said, there was so many things that I did, but this, I was doing a live one day, and then somebody said, "You a boss, you a boss." I said, "Yes, I am. I'm a boss." I said, but I said, I just want to help people create things and get out of themselves to create good things. Mm-hmm. And that's where Boss Creator came from. Like, I am Boss Creator. I was like, oh, okay. And then I had this one young lady say, don't make people think that you are Jesus. I said, I never think that I'm Jesus, but I think that we all are creators. Yes. So we can create things. We can, things can manifest through our speaking and through our doing. I said, I do believe that. So if I can get you out of your head for you to think further than what you're thinking, you are a creator too.
That's right. Mary, it's the God in me. It's the God.
There you have
God in me.
There you have it.
They didn't say I am God. They said it's the God in me. They said we are made in His image.
That's it. That's it. And that's the part that I love so much. We're made in His image, and that's the good part. That's the good part. So yeah.
It's like, you got some of me in you. So use your power.
And I had so many ideas. So I believe that I'm a creator. So being a creator, you want to help other people create their visions and their dreams. Yeah. So that's where I sit right now. And I started out doing credit restoration, but then I knew that the people need a little bit more of me. And I always wanted to be a motivational speaker, to speak life into people, to speak things outward for people to feel educated, motivated, and inspired. So that was my huge thing. Educate them, motivate them, inspire them. Yeah. So that's where Boss Creator came about. And I just start saying it, and it just got catchy, and everybody just caught on to the Boss Creator. So and Boss Thoughts, it came to me at night. It was like early in the morning. I was like, because I was going through a few things with some clients. Okay. And I was like, dang it. I said, these clients are really getting on my last. And I was like, well, I said, let me reach out to the people and see what the people say. I said, let me put a boss thought out there. I was like, I'm gonna have to see what other people are thinking. I said, maybe I'm doing this wrong. Maybe I just need to see how other boss think. So that's where Boss Thoughts came about. I said, let me do a boss thought. When I started doing boss thoughts and just start saying different things, I had several people inbox me saying, boy, that was on time today. I promise you that was on time. I was like, what? I said, on time for what? You inspired me. You made me look at a situation a little bit different. Or this right here helped me for today. And I was like, Lord, what are you doing? What are you doing to me? What are you doing to me? And basically, Boss Thoughts took off. A girlfriend of mine said, this needs to be a movement. This thing is huge. This thing is bigger than what you see. I said, it may be, but right now, let's just sit with the Facebook. Let's hang right there real tight. So that's where the Boss Creator came from.
Wow.
Me helping other people.
Yeah. And again, I'm not surprised, because when you do things and it's not for you, when you're always doing things for others and trying to help others,
right?
You're gonna always come up with ideas and just more ways to help.
Yes. And my husband said, Lord have mercy. He said, we can't come into no big money, because if we come into big money, he said, you'll give it all away. I said, well, that's always been me. I mean, I've literally had people say, "Ooh, I like those shoes you got on." So what size you wear? 10. I said, take yours off. Let me have yours. You can have them. It's like, no. It's like, yeah. I have a purse. I bought this Gucci purse, and I was like, why am I buying Gucci? I went and bought a Gucci purse. Got the purse and went to the grocery store, and the lady said, I love that purse. I said, you do? She said, yeah. She said, I'll give me one day. I said, you can have this one today. And the other lady, she just started laughing. Ah, ha, ha, ha. You're so funny. And I was like, why are we laughing?
Right. This is serious.
So she's like, you going to give it to me for real? I was like, yeah. She said, you going to give me this purse? I said, yeah. Mm-hmm. She said, how long have you had it? I said, just bought it yesterday. Brand new. Mm-hmm. She said, no, I don't want to take your purse. I said, you're not taking anything from me.
Right.
I'm giving it to you.
Right.
I said, look, just like this one was made, there's another one that was made. Give me that bag over there. I took the bag, emptied my purse, gave her the purse. She cried the whole time. I said, would you stop crying? See, you're not making this easy. And those are the things that, I mean, I love doing stuff like that. And just doing things for random people. That's just me.
That's what bosses do.
Yeah.
I love that.
People. Yep.
I love that. And you must be, in order to be a good leader, you must know how to serve. So
yes, indeed.
I love it. I love it. Wow. I've enjoyed this time that we share. You know, we're going to have to do this again.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So, what do you have anything coming up? I know you said you're going to open up the babies, that program again. You have anything else that we can look forward to? Well,
basically, I'm really restructuring. My business is called Executive Solutions, and Executive Solutions is basically a consulting firm where I consult people in personal and business credit and entertainment. So I added the entertainment segment because I still have people come to me and ask me, how do I copyright my music? How do I register my music? How do I do this? How do I do that? So as far as producing and all that stuff. So with all that intel, with what I'm doing now, I always start them first, personal credit. Personal credit will start you there. And then once you get into personal, if you want to start your business, it's always going to be a step towards building your business. So all of that, personal credit is like the glue to everything. So once we get the glue together and move around, it all comes together. So the consulting firm is going full-fledged and assisting all people that want to start their business. They want to know how to build their business, how to structure their business. And you also know that Uncle Don will be a part of the business side of everything because he knows that part of the business side. So I'll be, outsourcing a few things, but making sure everything will stay in-house as well. But Executive Solutions is what I'm building now. And then once I finish the Executive Solutions, getting it to a point where it really functions on its own, then I'm moving off into all kinds of lines of stuff. So my perfume line, my makeup line, and my clothing line, that'll be coming forth soon as well. And my writing. So I write movies, commercials, plays, skits. I do all of that too. So yes. I have to bring those talents out because those talents are really bombarding me right now. A lot of things are going on in my head and I have to get everything written out. There's an ebook that's on the way. It's a workbook actually. I got a credit workbook that's coming out to help the teenagers and the early freshman college students that's going into that world when they start spending and doing things on their own, just basically to give them a foundation on how to think about credit and money. So that workbook will be finishing in September. So I have that done and complete and ready for ebook and hardback. Well, like I said, yeah, you're gonna have to come back. You're gonna have to come back. We're gonna talk about all that stuff. Yes. That is amazing. I love it. Oh gosh. See, ladies and gentlemen, we have some amazing people in this world. Don't let social media and all that stuff you see on the news fool you. We have some good people out here that's really trying to make the planet better. Oh yes, most definitely. So yes, and that's just one person at a time. Yes, we didn't say perfect. We just said better. Well, we work in imperfection, but we are perfect in His sight. So we're perfectly imperfect. Yes, I love that. I love that. Oh wow! So Liz, yes, ma'am, the boss creator. Yes, will you give us just a nugget or a quote or a piece of advice that you would like to leave with the audience before we go? Never give up. Always keep moving. Don't stop. Anything can catch you if you're standing still. But if you're moving, it's hard for anything to catch you. That's from depression. That's from mental illness. That's from just yourself. If you keep moving, God will make ways and put people in your pathway to make your dreams and your desires come to fruition.
Mhm.
So I always say, keep moving and forever aim for excellence.
I love that. I love that. I do. All right, and let everyone know where you can be found. Where you can be located on social media, and let us know your
Okay, yes, I'm on all platforms. I even got a TikTok now. You know, honey. So I'm on Facebook. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So I'm on all the platforms. So everything is I Am Boss Creator.
Okay, awesome.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Very good. Well, again,
and my office, and if you want to come and visit me, my office is in College Park. So I have an office in College Park where I do all my executive solutions. So if you want to meet me there, I'm at 1800 Phoenix Boulevard, building 100, suite 128-27, College Park, Georgia.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it. Oh gosh. I really enjoyed this time that we shared together.
Yes, indeed, ma'am.
Wow. And I knew it would be. I knew it would be. I was just waiting for you to come on. Like, come on.
Yes, excited.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, again, thank you for joining Snails with No Shells, Miss BJ Martin. And what I would like to say is, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, please share the show. Please share and let others know, what people are doing. All we ask is just share. We know some, people funds. There's a lot of stuff going on. Just to share, that don't cost anything.
Not at all.
So just like, share, and subscribe, spread the word, and that's all that I ask.
Yes.
That's it. They'll keep it simple. And before we go, what I would like to say is, remember, just like the sun, you are necessary.
Yes.
I love you.
Yes.